Hello, YouTube and fellow resellers. My name is Kevin, the Stoic Reseller, and I'm back at you with kind of a weekly update. There wasn't a whole lot of eBay news, so we're skipping the news of the week that you may have missed, and we're just going with a broad update and having a general talk about a bunch of things that have been on my mind. If you're new here, I am a part-time reseller. I sell on eBay and Poshmark. I sell new and used clothing. One of the few things that I do and do pretty successfully is I do not promote my items. Instead, I use the promotion budget and use it for cross-listing software and other software that automates the process. So if you're interested in that kind of topics or that kind of reselling, like, subscribe, share my videos, and let's jump right in here. So the first item is my family has had a significant life-changing event recently. My wife got laid off. So instead of looking at this as a negative and a traumatic instance, which it obviously is, fortunately, we can get unemployment. She got a severance package, things like that. So we're covered for about 4 to 5 months, and we're going to use this opportunity to see if my wife can run the eBay business, and we're actually going to probably double to 2.5x the amount of listings. So we're looking to make up her salary, and then in the meantime, in that 4.5 to 5 months of the unemployment, we're going to use the money we make extra on eBay to just start paying debts down. I think right now the big issue with people, specifically people who are having a really tough time on eBay or wherever they're selling, they may have a lot of leverage and then a lot of requirements to their family to bring in an income. And, I'm very sympathetic to that. I very much understand the predicament that people may be in. But the whole point of this channel at first was to show the Stoic philosophy married with reselling. And when I learned of that, the first thing you want to do is obviously console your wife. It's a very traumatic issue. But we wanted to look at the positives. So what eBay has done, and we can never repay eBay. And I get it. We've done all the work. As resellers, we do a lot of work. We put a lot of time and effort into what we do. But eBay gives us that opportunity, okay? There's a good saying in the world that we need equal opportunity, but that doesn't mean equal outcomes. So you may put 70, 80 hours into eBay, but have different outcomes than me. And it's just how we do what we do, okay? But what we can control is our emotions and how we react to certain situations. So the overall goal for my family moving forward is that my wife gets to be kind of a stay-at-home mom, run the business. She'll be wanting to do the shipping and the pictures, and that'll help me a great deal. That'll free up a lot of the stress I have in the evenings and things like that. We are going to have to make sacrifices, specifically on my end. I will have to source more often. And that does kind of pain me, but we're hoping that that's just a temporary thing. And I'm trying to work something out at work. Maybe we'll see what happens. I don't know. My work really likes me. I'm not going anywhere from there. I really enjoy working there. So just so you guys know, you're actually going to start to see more or less a full-time endeavor, but that full-time is split between my wife and I. So you're going to see my numbers probably jump quite a bit. At least that's the intention. Whether eBay allows that, we'll see. I have no idea. But we're going to go down that path because my wife deserves it, and we deserve it as a family. We're going to work our asses off at this. I'm already teaching her. She's already doing shipping for me, and she'll be doing pictures here pretty soon. And we're going to ease into the process, so I'll keep you guys updated. Obviously, you're going to see the numbers. I'm still going to do weekly what solds. So you're going to see everything. And I'm more excited about that to see if we can make this a full-time endeavor, really. I mean, we'll see what happens, right? 2, one thing that's been on my mind quite a bit, and this has been, I just hear a lot of these conversations on eBay, rather on YouTube about eBay. And so some of the things that I thought maybe might help with the mental aspect of eBay, especially in how eBay is performing. eBay has been, very inconsistent, to say the least. For me, at least for the last, since, January 27th has been fairly consistent. This is the best day ever. I shared that with you guys already. There's a couple pretty meh days, but Poshmark has really stepped its game up. And I'll show you what I do to make Poshmark work pretty much automatically for me. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But so I want to change the terms, or at least how we think about these terms. So the first term is sell-through rate. And, a lot of people talk about sell-through rate in the aspect of, you want to get 100% sell-through rate items. Okay, well, what does that mean? And I think a lot of people don't really give that a lot of attention, a lot of thought process. They don't think critically. There's a lack of that in our society, of the thinking critically about what does things actually mean. What does that term mean, sell-through rate? And all it is that there's an equal amount listed to an equal amount sold in eBay's 90-day totals. And so basically what that's telling us is if it's at 100% sell-through rate, we need to start thinking of it as you should expect that item to sell within 90 days. Okay? And obviously it scales. So if it's got a 200% sell-through rate, you're looking at 45 days. 300% is 30 days. 400% is probably, somewhere in the line of 15 to 20 days. That's how we really should be thinking about this, because I think a lot of the misconceptions on eBay, especially on YouTube, is, we would all like these 100% sell-through rate items, and they're not everywhere, and they're hard to find. And that may be true, but I think a lot of people lose sight. When you think of 100%, that puts you into a different mentality, right? So you have 100% sell-through rate, you think, man, this should sell right away. No, we need to start thinking, okay, we see 90 listed, 90 sold. I should expect when I pick up and invest whatever the cost of that good is, that I should sell it within 90 days on eBay. Okay? That to me is more realistic. It puts different frames of mind into your brain, and and that brings me up to the second part too, when and this is kind of like a subject of the changing of that terminology. I had an interesting conversation with a commenter on one of my videos, specifically around like things that I'm picking up, and I told him I focus on items that have an 80% sell-through rate or high sales velocity. And what I meant by that was I'm expecting items that I pick up to sell within 100 to 110 days. And that seems like a lot, right? I mean, but that's the mental aspect, right? We need to start framing how we think about that. So, and then he asked probably a probing question, is like, what do you mean by high sales velocity? And this is something I actually got from the Bearded Picker when I was listening to one of his lives, is you want to pick up items that have 100% sell-through rate. Now, everyone wants to do that, right? But what does that mean? Okay, if it's 3 listed, 3 sold, 100% sell-through rate, is that as good as something that has 1,000 listed and 1,000 sold? There's a difference there, right? There's a higher sales velocity. If there's only 3 listed, 3 sold, that means 3 of the 6 items have sold in the last 90 days. And so when you think about that, I mean, unless you're just comfortable picking that item up and you fully understand that you're going to sell this quickly or within the 90-day window and you're happy with that, then pick it up. But if you're picking up an item that has even a sub 100% sell-through rate, but 16,000 have sold in the last 90 days, why not pick it up? I get it. Like Ralph Lauren is the example I used. Ralph Lauren I buy in long sleeves, short sleeves, whatever. As long as it's a contemporary size, meaning it's got the letter for the size, I'll price it at $16.97 plus shipping, and I sell it pretty regularly, And I think that's what people need to start thinking about when they pick up items. I don't really hear many YouTubers talk about the velocity of an item. There's a bunch of people who say, well, I picked this item up. Yeah, it's Ralph Lauren, but it'll sell eventually, at X price point. And they don't explain why. It's because 16,000 shirts have sold in the last 90 days. At some point, your shirt's going to show up in someone's feed, and they're going to want to buy it. it just shows you how in demand. Yeah, it's a saturated item, but it's in demand. You know, would you like it closer to 100%? Sure, but that's unrealistic. Now, kind of going back, the last thing I want to talk about in terms of changing kind of how we mentally think, or maybe the terminology of how we think of this, is offers. So when I receive offers, especially lowball offers, the one thing that I've been struggling with a lot is the frustration of a super lowball offer, right? And I've decided to take the Stoic philosophy and marry it here by taking the high road on this. Okay, if it's an insultingly lowball offer, just respond to your how you would normally respond. So like on a $30 item today, I had someone offer me $5. Obviously, you're sitting there looking at it like, who the frick cares? Like, are you freaking kidding me? Why waste the time and energy? You know, you can go on and on and on about the frustrations and the complaints about it. But instead, I just replied at $27, 10% off, like I normally would. Then he came up to 20, and then I came down to 24, which is my 20% that I normally try to stick to. And I added a message. I said, hey, this is 20%. I normally reserve this for multi-quantity items. And he accepted it. I sold an item that I received an offer for at first, $5 for $24. And it's just communication, guys. I'm now trying to really frame how I look at certain scenarios in terms of real life and on eBay and Poshmark, that sometimes buyers, I think, like to see if you're going to play game. You know, obviously, I think some buyers just know that sellers are somewhat desperate in today's market, so they're going to send lowball offers. But if you explain to them that, hey, this is the lowest I go. This is what I normally, the rock bottom for me is 20% when you do multi-quantity. But I'll give it to you on this single item. A lot of sellers or buyers are willing to play game. And if you're telling them percentages and numbers, a lot of them only see that, hey, 20%, that's a good amount off. Yeah, I'll take that. You know, it's all a mind game. It's all kind of like, you know, the art of manipulation and things like that. So, guys, just please make sure to start mentally grasping what you are doing and what you're talking about. Think more critically, because that ultimately will explain and solve many, many issues. Something also that came to mind, and this is after watching Josh Galt's video. It's only like 13, about the changes needing to happen. And it kind of, you know, I don't mean to piggyback on this, because this video has already been in the works. I have a whole thing listed down that I've been writing throughout the week here. And the economy had gotten me thinking, actually last week when he made his live, and I started trying to think more critically about how that affects me, how it's going to affect the world, things like that. And Josh's video today really kind of hit home because of the life-changing event that I had. So for me, guys, the economy is what it is. We can't control it. Just simple as that. And so the Stoics kind of have a saying, why borrow stress from imagined fears? Okay? And I know I probably misquoted that, but the gist of it is why stress about something that may or may not happen tomorrow? Why stress about something that happened 30 days ago? Why stress about stuff you cannot control? Period. I can't control the economy. I can't control what the rich elite are going to react to certain things. I can't control people being over leveraged and then having a serious incident and not being able to repay their debts. I can't control any of that, guys. I can't control what eBay's doing right now. We can only control what is at our fingertips, what I can control, what is within my power. The first thing is I can control my mental state, okay? And by that is I can ignore all the shit going on in the world, because it affects me to a certain degree, but I don't have to have a certain opinion on it. I don't have to have a certain mentality of frustration about it. Do I think what's happening in the world is great? No, we all have our own opinions. But the point is don't stress about it. Don't stress about what if on the economy, you know, and obviously you have to have a plan, right, to deal with it, because you still should be ready for what happens, but don't be stressing about it. Make a plan, be prepared. So, like, for instance, if say the economy has another 2007 2008 event where it just the bottom of every single market just went, shit everywhere, hit the fan, it's on the ceiling, it's over here, your financial investors saying you're fucked, we're all fucked, the frog in your bathtub is fucked, your wife, you should probably check on her in the bathtub with the other man because what's happening there, we're all screwed. That was 2007 2008, and that lasted for 2-3 years before we started seeing positivity. So what happens in that scenario? Are you prepared for that? I'm not prepared for that, and that scares me. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to take a meaningful action to move forward to make sure that I am prepared for it, And now there's a bigger stress on the business, and we're hoping that between my wife and I, doing more, listing more, we can scale this. And I know a lot of you are having problems scaling your business on eBay because eBay is having certain issues. So yeah, guys, to end that section of the rant here, I guess if you want to call it that, is don't focus on what you cannot control. Focus on what's at your fingertips. What are the options and solutions you can do right this moment that even do like a 2 to 3% positivity? If the resolution or the change that you make tomorrow increases efficiency 2-3% or gives you a 5 to 10% additional chance of getting more traffic, do that. And I get it. We shouldn't have to be doing all of this stuff to get that kind of traffic on eBay. But at this point, guys, if you're going to complain about no sales, and hear me out, I'm not trying to rag on anyone because I get it. People are having problems. eBay is legitimately having issues. No one can ignore that. But if you're complaining about having no sales and you're still only relying on eBay to generate that traffic for you, you really should probably start to find different solutions, meaningful solutions. And if you've tried everything and you're still having the problem, I don't have an answer for you guys. All we could do is just keep trying. Keep doing what used to work, or maybe find something. Just you really do have to try super hard at this anymore. eBay's not easy anymore, okay? It's not all rainbows, butterflies, bunny rabbits multiplying in the corner. That doesn't happen anymore, okay? The free money in the market is gone. We now have to be more critical about how we go about this stuff, how we do the business. eBay is forcing our hands to be better resellers, to be more involved in our business, more involved in the intricacies of every single day. So guys, please don't take that negative. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm not going to sit here and blame you guys. I'm not going to sit here, well, it's the items you pick up, because I've been told that. I see, everyone that's the big thing, right? That's the big thing, all the other YouTubers. It's you. It's your problem. The items you're picking up, you're not promoting. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. It's all your fault. Figure it out. I don't want to say that because I acknowledge that there's issues and we need to work on those. But I do want to acknowledge the fact that there's always something at our fingertips that we can do. And we have to do that. We have to exhaust every single option at our fingertips, at our disposal. Because if we do not do that, can you really call yourself a business owner? Can you really call yourself successful if you haven't exhausted everything? There's hundreds of different ways to do what we're doing here. And if you can't grasp and narrow down things that you want to try and see how it works, then maybe it is you. Because there's so many different ways. And I don't mean to be condescending, but at the end of the day, the business responsibilities are on us as resellers. Whether we depend on this or not, at the end of the day, it's our inventory, it's our store, and it's our frustrations. eBay isn't going to listen to us. They've proven that. So moving on. Now you might think, okay, I see here, your last 31 days, you're up 31%. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what happened, but I've been getting a very consistent $240 to $300 day on eBay. And Poshmark's been pretty freaking solid too. I don't know if it's, tax returns, which seems really early right now because, you were just able to file at the end of January. Possibly. It could be that. I have no idea. Typically February, March, and April are my best months. So, it's to be seen, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a huge drop off during the summer. I don't have a huge drop off in the winter. I also don't have a huge bump in the winter. But this is abnormal to me. I mean, my traffic even is excellent. I mean, impressions are way up. Page views are way up. I mean, I don't even understand how, I don't understand what's happening because I've only done a few changes. Okay. So the first change that I did, actually let's backtrack. One of the changes that we were trying to do, so Hayfro, JL Stanton, and myself, we were testing something, and I know they haven't talked about it or really insinuated it. We were trying to play with the algorithm and how we thought it worked, which was the algorithm wants to see you have activity, frequently, and so we thought, okay, well, something came to mind. Why don't we schedule our listings throughout the day to just list? So I was having a listing, I was doing 8 a day, and so it was like every 8 hours I would list an item. And it was working okay for me. It was kind of nerve-wracking because it's like I know that I should list all my items at one time so that it gives the rest of the day to marinate. But, as anything, the longer it goes, the less that's really an issue because you have all these items being listed and they're marinating as it goes on. I didn't see a meaningful difference, guys. Me personally. I didn't see a drop and I didn't see an increase. So it really didn't do a whole lot for me. And as far as Hayfro and JL Stan, I don't want to speak for them, but they called it off because it wasn't very positive from my understanding. Maybe talk to them about it, but didn't seem like there was any meaningful impact doing that. So if that comes to mind, guys, it did nothing for me and it kind of negatively affected others. So one of the things I have done on eBay, and here I can show you specifically what I've done. Let's take something I listed this morning, like these here. I used to do this when I first started, and then eBay was working appropriately. So over the course of time, I was like, I'm spending too much time adding these item specifics in, and now that eBay is not working properly, search is messed up, visibility is messed up, everything like that, I now have gone back to this. So I used to not add much into that. If it was in the picture, like the measurements, I used to add the measurements, but if it was like the material tag was in there, what the pattern was, I didn't. If it was in the title and in the pictures, I just disregarded it and didn't add it. Now I literally add every single thing. And I'll tell you, ever since I started doing this, I have been selling my impressions, which is bleh, but page views and sales have been stabilized and consistent since the 27th of January. Obviously, you have the really big, large jump that I had, and I'll show you that again here. Going back. So from here on, and here's the email of death day. You guys kill me, man. I that has made it to almost every channel I've watched. Someone's comment, "Have you watched the email of death video? Oh my God, this guy's a fucking idiot." Yeah, I know. And then here's my middle finger to eBay. But anyways, I digress. So I mean, you can kind of see the graph is kind of maybe all over the place, I suppose, but it's it's consistent for me. It's about as consistent as it gets, I suppose. But let me show you the traffic, guys. Even today, I mean, look at this crap. 40% more impressions, 15% more page views. I sold 50% more items than I did the month prior in January. Like, holy crap. And you can see it's just been consistently better. I started the first of the year doing this when I got back off of vacation, adding all the item specifics. You can see top 20 search results are up 10%. Everything's up, which is great. These are where you want to be when you're doing organic like I am. When 100% of your impressions are organic, these are the numbers. Obviously you want the top 20 to be higher, but you're not gonna bother with it, right? The rest of the search slot impressions is pretty solid because these are actual searchable impressions. These are to be determined. Are they good or are they bad? There is one thing to note, though. If you promote, these numbers skew drastically bad. I mean, I'll make a video probably this weekend explaining that. But yeah, I mean, guys, this is phenomenal. I can't even express the results. And to be honest with you guys, that is the only meaningful change that I've done. Last week I was listing 8 per day. This week I'm listing 12 per day. It changes for me based on how many items I'm able to source during my thrift trips. But that alone, I mean, huge disparity of listings doesn't explain the amount of page views. And to be fair, to be even more fair and transparent, my active listings have gone down. I was hovering about 760 towards the end of January. So you can see I am starting to shed listings, which I'll take. That's a positive right now. I want this number to be under 700 for now because I need the capital. And I don't really want to be holding on to stuff. But it's really interesting to me. So I don't know, guys. Try doing that. If you're not already doing that, try doing that. That is so far the one meaningful thing. And the reason I think it's so successful for me is search is broken. So the more detail you can add into the listing, the better. Also, the algorithm favors listings that are that good, that have everything listed. I still even do the AI description because why not? All right. I already talked about all the negativity that I've seen on eBay. I made sure to write that as a note. And I get it, guys. I really do. It is frustrating. But we live in a frustrating time. And again, we can control only what we can control. Supposedly in March, so if you guys can hold out till then, supposedly in March we're supposed to see some meaningful changes. I don't know what that means. No one seems to know what that means, but that month has been swirling around the YouTube verse, and you just have to hopefully mean that it means something meaningful. But remember, guys, you can't control the past, you can't control the future, you can only control right now. And you can only control what you can control, what is at your disposal to do. You can't control what eBay is going to do, okay? And what is today? The 8th? I think in 20 days or so, eBay is going to have their Q4 earnings call. A lot of people believe it's going to be garbage. A lot of people think, the CEO is going to make some hookah-mania BS, nonsensical garbage about, oh, look at, our promoted listing fees increased by like 35% and we're fucking bankrolling every goddamn thing. Our sellers are performing well. Everyone likes promoted fees. We are fucking the best. That's what I expect. I expect eBay to just come out, flash their gang symbol. How do the football players do it? I can't do it. The W. Oh, promoted listings for the win. that's what I'm anticipating, and you know what? Take it as you want. It's gonna be what it is, guys. But the negativity, guys, one of the things I really tried to do this year, also one of my secret things that I've been really, really trying to focus on this year was to get back to my understanding of the Stoic philosophy. And, it doesn't mean that I have to be here and have no emotion on my face, talk like Bueller, tell you that you can't do this, don't worry, we're fine. No, I'm not a robot. I'm not that by any means. I'm a pretty animated person. What that means to me, though, is just instead of thinking about the glass half full or half empty or negative and everything, oh my God, you got to have a response right the fuck now. It's take a deep freaking breath. Just hold it into your fucking blue. I don't care. The fact of the matter is, having an emotional response, good or bad, and having that response immediately is never beneficial. It is never a good thing to have an immediate emotional response. So I want you guys to just please take a deep breath. Don't have an emotional response to anything that's happening. Step back, collect your thoughts, and move forward. Think about what is the positive outcome of whatever's happening. And I think a lot of us need to start doing that. There's always something positive that can potentially happen. The first thing I told my wife was like, what is the positive of being laid off? That's not a normal question, right? Is there a positive of ever being laid off? And for us, it's, of course. My wife now has an opportunity to be a mom, a stay-at-home mom. Because on the back of something that I have worked my ass off to get this. And we're going to continue as a team, as a couple, to bring this to a higher standard and do more. And my wife can just be free. Be less stressed out. Not have to rely on some corporate fucking company that can't control their goddamn spending to the point now where they're so far in debt that they're laying off everyone that wasn't responsible for those decisions. That's what it ultimately comes down to, right, guys? It's no different than eBay right now, right? If you're not having sales, you might as well just look at it as eBay laid you off. And is that your fault? No. You can't control that. You held your end of the bargain up, right? You found maybe a good item, listed it, and now you're sitting here. It's got 0 views in 7 days, yet it had, 100% sell-through rate. Or, as we need to change it, it's going to sell within 90 days, but you would expect to get 1 view. So what's happening? No one knows. We're going to move on, guys. The last item I have here is just, I do want to give my thoughts on all the site issues. I want to preface, we can't control any of them. Not a damn one of them. Okay? So some of the things I heard from this week is, obviously, search is still fucked up. Offers. There was an offer situation that affected like 2 days. I didn't see any of that issues. I did have one customer have a problem with the next issue, which is the multi-quantity orders. He wasn't able to use my coupon or send me an offer on all 3 of my items. So he wanted to buy 3 items from me, and he wanted to send me an offer that we had agreed upon, which you used to be able to do out of your cart. You just used to click on each one and send an offer. He wasn't able to do that. And then, so I was like, oh, then no problem. Okay, well, it's X amount off, so I'll send you the offer for the difference on each item. And I did that, and then eBay decided to not combine the orders. It was just a fucking bizarre scenario. I worked with the customer. I made it happen. I think I lost that on some shipping. It was like $2. I don't fucking care. It was a great order. And, not every day someone wants to buy 3 freaking items from you. And then the last thing that I saw this week or heard about, some people talk, was the end and sell similar issues, where you ended a few items and you tried to bulk sell similar on them. And it was throwing out errors. I think Hayfro highlighted this, and I don't think it was on on a video, but he was asking the community about it on YouTube. And my thoughts on that is, if that is just a site issue, then okay, we can work around that. The problem I'm going to have here is if there's malicious intent behind that. And knowing eBay, there's very much a potential for some malicious intent behind that. So who knows? We can't control it. All we can do is just find workarounds, deal with it, and do what we can control. So guys, I know it's a long video, 35 minutes at this point. Getting this weird thing. I actually need to remove that. It's my wife's work from home stuff that she no longer does. And but yeah, guys, please stay positive. We can only control what we can control. We got to do what we can do, and we must exhaust every single opportunity we can. And guys, if you like this, or if you have anything to add to the conversation, let me know down in the comments section. I try to respond to every single comment. I enjoy talking to you guys. It makes me feel not alone in the whole reseller rat race. So guys, like, subscribe, comment below, share my videos, and until the next video, think positively and rule the day.